so this segment is for the spirit of the West, people who chose this card, or people who are actually have the water element as your sun, moon, Venus, North Node. Okay, and this is the water element being Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer. Okay, any of these signs, this reading is for you. Now, if you want to hear the general overarching astrological climate and the energies of the sky, you want to look at my main video, which will say the lunar eclipse on the 16th of May, okay? And there'll be also a card reading that's an overall theme for everybody, okay? And this is a bit more specific to do with the choice, if you chose this card, and if this is your element. Okay, without further ado, let me have a read of your cards. I'm just going to turn this camera up properly. Okay, so we're going to start with, okay, wow. Okay, so some of you with a water element, with a strong water element as well, and you want to see where 25 degrees could be in your chart as well. Okay, we've got it, the conjunct North Node lunar eclipse, okay, is happening on the 25th degree. So any aspect, any planet that also has that kind of rough degree in any of your signs would also be having an impact. Which brings to me to sort of say basically that some of you are already coming into this energy towards coming up to, or definitely by the lunar eclipse, with a blessing. Okay, there's been some good news. Here we've got the blessing, and we've got all that glitters gold upside down. Now, I don't think this so much is a negative thing with this being upside down. I quite like this sort of all that glitters gold, the card being upside down, partly because, of course, sometimes we can get deluded, okay, or, you know, with an ideal situation. And this is, for me, often it says that you've taken the mask off and you can see the truth. So you've kind of got gained some wisdom here, and you're able to see what's what, and you're not so easily led by some kind of charlatan type ideals, or some notion that could actually be all glitter and no substance, really, all that glitters. This is sometimes really for a card that I read as, okay, that to be careful what you are looking at, okay, and really be discerning. Now, I think we had that card last month as well. There was certainly a card which implied that you needed to look at what needs to happen, and not falling into, and we've got Neptune as well with as one of the aspects to this lunar eclipse, which I think also some of you might see very clearly. Maybe what you were promised, or perhaps what you've been hoping for and believing in for some long while has actually failed to really sort of give you that sense of grandness and a sense of something that you actually thought was going to be there. So there's going to be a sense of disillusionment, really, basically. Maybe you've come to realize that your partner is no longer really the kind of person that you thought they were, or perhaps you knew it all along, but you've taken the mask off and suddenly everything is very clear. Okay, now the overall theme, which I've left a card for here, is the release. So this card was the main central theme for the other reading, but I'm not going to go into great detail because you can go back to the original video. But this main theme for everyone really is about just letting go and releasing. So if something comes to you with that sense of something is not as what you thought it was going to be, a bit like the big bad wolf appears, then just let it go. Just surrender to it, okay? You see, she is there surrendering her heart to the space. She's allowing herself to be transformed by these butterflies, all right, here as well, okay? There's something about that, and it could be small, many small things that you might have to let go, or you're transforming, all right? But whatever it is, do not fear, okay? Allow yourself to be completely into this change and whatever's happening. But I think some of you are going to get some very, very good news, or you'll be feeling very blessed. Something has come in, something's been offered to you, or something that you know you it's just, you know, we've got the power number of 22 here as well. Okay, so this is very much a magical number, a master number here, and there is a sense of good news and good tidings coming your way as we enter into this lunar eclipse. Okay, and that is also heightened by two cards here. Wow. All right, by the no place like home. So I think for some of you, it could be a move, it could be an opportunity, definitely in feeling at home and being seen in your own skin. And also, more importantly, there's a leg up card here as well. I've got two cameras here, so I'm just going to do that. Okay, so this tells me that there's definitely a place where you can shine, but definitely we can put your roots. If you see the house is actually suspended, growing out, something that though you could be growing from, and where you can actually really shine your light. So some of you actually maybe are coming to a place where you feel that you're finally being seen, maybe getting some kind of deserved recognition, a breakthrough, where you can feel very much happy and at home in your own skin as well. I think this, for me personally, and literally personally as well, there'll be a move that it's going to be somewhere you might think, oh my God, this is exactly what I've been hoping for and wishing for. And there could be somewhere you could be moving to that could really transpiring. Now, Scorpio is the underworld, the kind of Plutonian sign. Okay, and this is where the lunar eclipse is. So in some of you as well, you'll be actually really kind of recognizing maybe where you've not had things to your liking, and now something or somebody's come along and is giving you a leg up. Whatever it is, this is an opportunity out of the blue as well, because I say out of the blue because this is what this blessed card is. It kind of comes, you know, just out of the sky, as you can see, okay, bearing good news. And this has come, and this is actually going to really, really help you move along in your world. Okay, I feel like in some way, though, there's a lot of practical organization needs to happen here that some of you might be thinking, okay, so this is for all the water signs, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. If you've got your moon, sun, north node, your Venus, or your rising, this will be speaking to you, I hope. Okay, so some of you have actually got to really put your thinking cap on. Okay, try not to get too much in your head. Okay, so maybe if you're getting too much in your head and trying to sort everything out, this came out in the inverted as well. Just think about just taking everything systematically. Okay, step by step. Try not to solve everything at the same time. Trust what you're feeling and thinking as well. Trust it. All right. And then put a plan into place. Perhaps there's a sense of overwhelm that could be happening. Yeah, flexibility and exchange of gifts as well. There were two similar cards that we had in the back end of the other reading. But yeah, so what I'm getting is definitely flexibility, okay, is required. So again, you might be approached by different, keep things flexible. All right, try not to get too rigid. And in fact, this I'll read this card as well as that. There's a sense of rigidity. If you look, she's sitting on the boxes, and maybe, you know, if you hold on too tightly about how things need to be, you're going to be not flexible, and you really need your flexibility at this time. Possibly dates could be changing, things are changing. You know, you don't know whether you're coming or going. One minute you've kind of got everything sussed, and next minute you're going to have to bend with what's happening. But, you know, go, if you see these curves here, so you might have to sort of keep on meandering, but keep yourself steady, because at the base of this card, which is what we had in the other reading, is the card of birth, new beginnings. The egg to me implies that, but keeping yourself steady. If you look at it, she's got her hands, I'm going to just shift in this camera first. She's got her hand firmly placed on the top, and she's firmly balanced. Okay, and this is what you need to be doing. So if anything is taking you off your center, if you like, all right, it's really important that you just keep yourself firmly balanced, or do any physical practice outdoors as well, if you can, that will keep you centered. Okay, anytime that you feel not centered, again, take yourself, well, the weather's good now wherever you are, particularly in the Northern Hemisphere, take yourself outdoors and see if you can do some physical practice. This is also going to be redirecting to something that can grow, and maybe it's something you weren't even originally considering. You might have had a hand in the changes that's come in your way, but at the same time, this has taken you, I would say, by surprise. Okay, because we've got here the exchanging of gifts, and this is almost this sort of jack out of the box, or whatever it's called. But this is a fairy, okay, sort of popping itself out. So this is some kind of blessing, maybe something you wished for, something that can be very mutually appreciated. If you look here, the image as well, the cat is playing with the person in the figure here in the ballerina suit, basically, and it's a fairy exchanging its gifts. Okay, trust that this has come, almost been delivered out of the blue as well. Okay, and this will give you a lot of joy, something that's also going to give you a lot of tenderness and a lot of nourishment as well. And certainly for those of you, if it hasn't come out of the blue for you, you want to be looking at where can you be exchanging your gifts. Now, I talk about values far more in the original video as well, so do look at that, because Taurus is where the eclipse is at, and Taurus is all about the values. So if you were clear on your values, as we've been approaching this in an eclipse, you might have found that certain things have turned up in your life that really match your values as well. Okay, so in some ways it could be a blessing that's come out of the blue, but at the same time, I've got two cards here that wants to come out, three. Okay, and this is about you really expressing yourself in a way that is valued and really seen, okay, and mutually appreciated. I've got 3 cards here, which is really interesting, and some of these cards actually came out the last time, but I will read it in the way. I think what's important here is very much about getting grounded. Okay, so for your water people, spirit of the West people, make sure you stay grounded, and that was also the message as well in the other card, but staying peaceful, okay, whatever happens, because this lunar eclipse can really rock your life, okay, or maybe some things are happening so quickly and suddenly that you need to stay focused and stay grounded as well, so you're not actually being thrown by the external events or how much you have to do. Very, very important. Says empaths here, highly sensitives, connect with nature. Okay, do take yourself out in nature. I did this morning as well, and did some, not only some physical body work practice from yoga to bit qigong, kind of like a flow yoga. I also ended up my practice today with a bit of sitting down and really tuning into my heart, and then breathing in through my heart, up through into my crown, and then sort of breathing down again. So for breathing into my heart, down into the roots, and then breathing up, and then breathing out from my heart, and then breathing in, and then breathing out, okay, and then breathing out. So you can do these kind of variation breath work, which will really help to keep you steady, grounded, and heart-centered. I can't say that enough. And if you in fact even look at that Buddha there, right on the center of the chest there is a real spark of light, a diamond light, if you like, coming out of the heart center. And it really is a time, this lunar eclipse, that's showing us where things are imbalanced and where things need to be balanced. And it could be an external factor that keeps us knocking off our balance. So there, staying heart centered and centered will help us. Otherwise, also, how can we be more centered, more clear, and much more coming from our Buddha self and our self that it's very rooted and very grounded and very spiritual and very connected, and where how can we offer ourselves through our work as well? Okay, now for some of you, this could be to share your voice. All right, so this is a very specific card as well, expressing. Okay, now again, if you go back into the first video that I did for the overall message, we got a card of regeneration, and I did mention there that some of you might need to regenerate, recreate, reevaluate, redo something. We're moving into Mercury retrograde as we come into this lunar eclipse as well. So this could be a time now for you to actually really think about how can you share your expression. I mentioned that in greater detail to do with your throat chakra, so I'm going to keep it brief so you can actually go back to that video and get a better insight and more value, if you like, for what I've already mentioned. But for some of you, this is very much about coming out, stop hiding. This is now a time to be seen as well, okay? Let people see who you are. Be around people who allow you to be who you are. Choose people, partners, workers, co-workers. You know, if you're working in an environment where you can't be yourself, I mean, you're not even seen for who you are. If you've got to hide your true self, okay, then you're not doing yourself any justice whatsoever. So again, this theme is very, very clear to me that now it is time to come out, time to rebalance, you know, anywhere that you've not been true to yourself in any way. Which is really the overarching message for this lunar eclipse as well. We'll be highlighting, the lunar eclipse will be highlighting that. And finally, but not least, because you've got 3 cards that stuck to my fingers, which I've taken, is where you're being called to journey to. So again, this I feel, and this was the last, new moon. This came out on the new moon 2-3 times, this very card. So again, we're very much still in that energy of the new moon, crossing into the lunar eclipse, into the solar eclipse, crossing into this lunar eclipse with where are you being called to journey? Trust it. Okay, have you got several options? Have you got some options that you maybe come your way and then you've kind of been enticed and maybe another thing's come and you're thinking, oh, I want to look at that. And then, pay attention to what is curving, what's happening, what's coming in, coming out, and then just be noticing where you're being called to. This is where your sense of groundedness is very important as well, you water elements and the spirit of the West people, because in being grounded, you're able to navigate the terrain very clearly and see your path very clearly. All right, and this is allowing you to get out of your head, which is what I said earlier on. Okay, you don't want to be overthinking things, because the thinking takes you out of your body. I mean, it's in your head, but kind of up here rather than in here. Okay, you're not grounded and not being heart-centered. So the message to me is really clear that some of you have definitely going to be given a new environment to work in, a new place to live, some kind of also a new expression where you're going to get some kind of leg up, where you're going to be seen, where you're going to also really love what you're going to be doing. I'm going to pull a trinket for you, Spirit of the West people. This is so lovely as well. All right. And for any of the water signs here, okay, we've got the wing, an angel wing, and I really feel that you are going to be guided. I mean, this almost sort of fits beautifully on this card like that. Okay, this is a message definitely coming. You're going to get some news. You're going to get some blessing. And with the wing, it's going to be like a messenger, so something out of the blue a bit, okay? And to take it, to fly with it, to accept it, to receive it, okay? We got the yin card in the overall message as well, which is about being very receptive and allowing for something to come in. I mean, even this card of your direction here, if you notice, the hand is open and receiving, possibly the water, whatever it is. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful indication of something. And do comment if there is something for you that's come up since the lunar eclipse, moving in, lunar eclipse now, the solar eclipse last 2 weeks ago. And let's see what could be here for you. Okay, this is for anyone with moons, rising, or sun, Venus, or nodes, okay, whatever aspect you want to look at. So the chakra I've chosen for you guys is, wow, you've got the sacral chakra again as well. Okay, so this was the overall message chakra. This is the sacral chakra for you. Again, it is very much about uniting with your tribe, with your people, with yourself, getting grounded, getting rid of addictions, getting rid of sort of fears and concerns, but actually tuning into your power about how you want to show up in the world, how you want to maybe, what your value is, okay, you know, what is important to you. So do spend some time reflecting and maybe intentionalizing what is important for you. We are all closing a massive chapter, an 18-year cycle. Okay, and we're moving into rather another 12-year cycle that's ahead of us as well. And for me personally, my nodes are currently in the North Node, Taurus as well, and Scorpio, say, for example. So I am actually closing a really huge chapter in my life. So it'd be really good for all of us in some way to start putting our intentions, not for the immediate few months, but really what would you like to see in so many years' time? Okay, how would I like to feel? But there would be some shift that is starting now for a new book. Okay, not a chapter, but a new phase, a new sequence of your life into another chapter, like an elevation of where you've been. So with the sacral chakra, do tune into your sacral chakra, do some meditation, just focus on the color. You can do the sound oh, and repeat that 7 times, oh, and look at your mind's eye to the chakra. You can choose a video. I always say this in the chakra for the YouTube. Okay, there's plenty of great stuff there. Okay, just choose what you're drawn to. They're all variations of time span, some are 7 minutes, 10 minutes. You can also do the sound VAM, which is a Sanskrit sound for the sacral chakra. Okay, and this is about you being unique, you being beautiful, and accepting yourself wholly for as you are. All right, this is really truthfully where the self-expression starts, and then this is where it gets out in the world as well. So this is the vocal and how it's expressed, but we need to ground it on this level as well. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave it here. Have a quick look at this bottom of the deck. Yeah, so some of you are going to be being asked at the bottom of the deck here is a priestess card. So you're being called to step up and lead. So be the leader of your own life as well. I really do think that this lunar eclipse is more about the individuation, the individual doing the work now. Okay, we are all need to take self-responsibility, self-accountability, be clear with what's okay, what's not okay, what you need to do to take care of yourself, what you need to keep out so you're not completely disrupted by others' energies all the time. Where do you want to and how do you want to lead your life? It really comes down to you, okay? And this means even if you're in partnerships, do not compromise yourself to the point that you've lost your balance. Very important message as well for everybody. And just be really self-honoring, because when you honor yourself, you actually end up actually honoring the others, even by default, or doing them a favor by actually honoring and educating and taking the lead. So lots of love here to the Spirit of the West and all the water signs. Thanks for listening. If you want to listen to the main video and you haven't, do go back to that. If you want to listen to any of the other aspects, elements, okay, whether you're a water sign rising or fire sign, then do tune into that. And the link for that video will be below. Okay, and anything else you might want a private reading. For some reason, my Acuity schedule is not working currently. Squarespace has taken over it and we can't get hold of anybody in Squarespace, which means people can't actually do any booking via that way, but you can. My email address is at below, so if you are interested, just drop me a line through my email address and I will you can still see on my website all the array of readings I do. Just mention what they are and we can organize payment through PayPal. And I can certainly be more than happy to give you a reading and some guidance. In the meantime, lots of love on this lunar eclipse. Have a great one. Hold on tight. Be blessed, because there's blessings coming where you're going to be valued and seen. And I really wish that for you, water signs and the spirit of the West. Bye for now. Bye.